So it's funny because I was actually surprised to see not that many wars break out in the first video, which it's only, barely under turned 50. So that just shows you how aggressive the AI is on a map like this. But like I said, it is going to be a little bit too chaotic to keep up with all the wars. It's turned 41, and I think I'm going to be more focused on, at least for the first few videos, the colonization. There will be, I can guarantee you, more wars and almost like a chaotic amount of wars, like just a ridiculous amount of wars that I'm pretty sure that'll break out by the end of this video or the next video. So, and we won't be able to keep up with it all. Like I said, right now we're going to just focus on who's colonizing what and what teams might have good strategies depending on how far they are from each other and where the maybe how their unique ability works together. So that will be kind of interesting to see. We have Poland, so everyone's at peace now because Poland and Prussia were on the defensive against 4 other nations starting off in the first video. I don't think they really lost anything. Prussia is still trying to settle here just north of Bohemia, but they have to be careful. Austria going to the south of Bohemia. And then we have Belgium, very aggressive with their settling, maybe moving over towards Central Europe. We'll see if they're going to be able to keep that up. Rome also moving closer to the Papal States. Now remember, and if you hadn't seen the previous AI-only Europe battle that we did, that was just kind of a single-player, Civ, or I guess it was an AI-only, but it was just single teams. There were no teams, I guess I should say. Byzantium is the reigning champion, and that was, I think, again, one of the, my favorite, one of the most exciting, I think. So now we have a switch. It's actually Poland and Prussia, Lithuania and Sweden working and going after Austria and Hungary. That will be one area of the map I think I'm going to be able to figure out very, very fast because it is going to be so much aggression going on here. So remember, Byzantium is the reigning champion. They are kind of here to defend their crown. Byzantium is actually allied to, in this map, I was checking it over the break, Theodora is allied to Bohemia. So if Bohemia is able to survive, which I think is very unlikely because they have no teammates anywhere close by, then they might do pretty well. They might be able to help out Byzantium, but we'll see. This is totally different, though, for Theodora than ever before because, remember, in the last video, in the last series, it was just the Ottomans here. It was just the Ottomans. So they were able to roll over the Ottomans, and at that point, I mean, they really could just, clean house here. Now they got to worry about the Hittites and the Ottomans, as well as this area is going to be more aggressive. We've got the Greeks already at 3 cities. That might be the most so far in the world. Another pantheon has been founded. And look at I don't know if we checked, if I made a comment about this, the Vandals. Just super forward settling the Moroccans. Just like, boom, that's like just a slap in the face before turn 50. Like, hey, what's up, buddy? Bam. I don't even know where the Moroccans are at. They must be out exploring. Songhai might have actually quite a bit of luck here if they have a good ally somewhere that's maybe far enough from them. But Songhai will be, I think, very safe in sub-Saharan region, so we'll have to keep an eye on them and how they do. Rome pretty far down on the list. Surprised to see some of these. They're allied to Switzerland. So in Switzerland, remember, they did really well last time. I was shocked. I mean, I don't know I can't remember if they survived in Europe, but they survived I didn't think they were going to do as well as they did. They were worried about, I know Sardinia Piedmont was like a big threat to them, but like I said, rule of thumb, no more island civs unless it's on the British Isles or like maybe the Japanese mainland. Obviously, there's no Japanese mainland so far, and both of these civs are not moving their settler. There is, there's nothing I can do about it. This sometimes happens. And I've tried multiple times in the past, for those that, are wondering, for commenters that are like, well, their settlers are stuck or something like that. There's nothing I can do. They're going to either break out of it or they're not going to break out of it. I don't know what's wrong with, I don't know what's wrong with them. But they usually do, actually, unless they get destroyed. It's like a civ will either get destroyed and never move their settler, or they will, like, something will hit them randomly in the AI's like thinking, and they'll start to move it. So the British Isles will still be a pretty interesting race. Morocco has built the Great Library, so maybe that's what they're doing with their time. They're just building wonders. Bulgaria and Russia. Like I said, these diplomacy notifications mean absolutely nothing. Rome settling Antium, and aggression will definitely be on the horizon between Augustus and Alexander very soon. Bulgaria, who tends to be, this is also a different Bulgarian mod than I used last time. Bulgaria was formerly green. This is a different one because Bulgaria hadn't had much luck whenever I'd used them. so I used another one. Bulgaria did really, really well at building a military, but that was it, and they ended up getting wiped out. So William and France, the Netherlands and France have the most food so far in the world. Then is Babylon, Byzantium, Queen Victoria, and Belgium, Albert of Belgium, and the Sumer. Actually, 5 is getting pretty low. Who's got the low? Oh my gosh, look at this. Well, besides me, Hungary at 0. I wonder why. That's strange. Portugal at 0. We've got Ramses. That's also very shocking to see them so low on this food list. The Umayyad, Harun al-Rashid, Alexander. We will be checking in on the info addicts, of course, but not until about turn 100. And even then, I tell people to take that information with a grain of salt because it doesn't necessarily matter. We have Carthage versus Portugal, and we'd have to. There's probably traditionally, if you don't see an immediate kind of border. Oh, okay. Wait a second now. That right there was declared because I know that Ramses is allied to the Moors. So something is going on in Iberia. I don't think either nation has enough. I don't think either one has enough troops to be able to take over the other one, especially the Moors. I mean, look at Spain. Very aggressive, extremely fast at building the military compared to the likes of the Portuguese and the Moors to the south. So yeah, we're not going to be able to look into some of these wars. Like I said, they are going to be too chaotic, and they're going to continue to pile on. I promise you. So we'll obviously kind of continue to scroll around the map, and if we see something on the verge of being taken over, then we'll look at it. But turn 52, you're not going to take over anything with warrior units. Unless you have a whole bunch. But even with a whole bunch, the AI needs a very significant advantage. So a lot of people are going after the Huns. They must have a weak link because the Huns themselves are not bad. The Huns actually have a very good chance, I would say, of taking over Russia early on. So this is kind of a very key conflict that I've always mentioned whenever we do a Civ 5 battle. The Huns and Russia, that really dictates the game almost every single time. So yeah, this is going to be way too crazy to follow. So every single time we have this huge war, and it's either the Huns will take over Russia very early on, and then boom, Catherine is done, or they won't. And pretty much, if you know anything about the Huns, if you know about their unique ability and their unique units, they are entirely a early game aggression civ. That's it. They need to be as aggressive as possible in the early stages of the game, because if not, they fall behind and they end up, not really having any bonuses. So the best thing to do as Attila is to take over everything before turn 150, and that's really all you can hope for, and hope that you made enough gains that you can hold on for the rest of the game to get the victory. We'll see what happens. It also really depends on what Catherine does. Sometimes Catherine is not very smart and she doesn't build a military, even though she has one of the most aggressive civs to the south. So this will be a key conflict, I think, in the region, and it'll play, I think, a big impact on the entire game. Lithuania will also, if they end up surviving, which they could, and Prussia really needs to figure out what they're going to do with the settler. Prussia should probably just become kind of a Norway sort of thing. I'm sorry, like a modern-day Finland, or what is it, the Baltic states? Yeah, the Baltic states. They should kind of move up towards the Baltic states, maybe even cross the Baltic Sea and get into Finnish territory. Because I don't know exactly what Novgorod is going to do. Novgorod will probably stay up to the north. Egypt and Morocco are now friends. Battering rams are already being built by Attila, so he might be considering using a few of those. We've got the Ottomans with a pretty big military. The Assyrians not settling anything, but the Assyrians also a very early game aggressive civ with those siege towers. They can take over a lot very quickly. This is the region that I expect to fall the fastest, though. The Umayyad, the Sumer, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Arabians, somebody here, because it is such open terrain. Very easy for a civ to take this area of the world over and kind of unite it quickly. Egypt might be going for their 4th city. Lots of desert. We will be seeing, I'm sure, some Europeans reach out into North Africa, which if kind of multiple regional wars weren't confusing enough when we have 2 teams, the colonization will make it even more complicated. Bam! Portugal moving up towards Western France. That is going to make Napoleon, I think, very upset. And remember, Napoleon is on his own here. Ooh, he's a pretty big kind of launching of military units from the Dutch. The Netherlands are not happy about something. Okay, so they're at war with Bavaria. Is this Bavaria? Yes, Bavaria of Munich. So that will be kind of fun to watch. Let me just make sure. Yes. So this seems to be maybe the AI that has the best chance. Thing is, though, lots of rough terrain, as well as the river will somewhat protect Munich here. Munich is located, it's on grassland, so it's a little bit easier to take over than if it was on a hill. But still, again, these units, just ancient era units, yeah, unless you're like, you know, the Assyrians or the Huns, like we talked about, you're not going to take over anything. It's just not going to happen. So, like I said, we will be skipping over wars because it's too early on to tell. But we will be looking at the infoetics and utilizing that and the diplomacy window as well to be checking in on exactly who's at war with each other. And, you know, for those in the comment section that really want to keep up, I mean, I'll make sure that I scroll over the icons so you guys can actually, I don't know if you guys have notepads at home or something like that. If someone wants to keep a notepad with them to write down all the wars, I would totally understand. Egypt's moving into the Arabian Peninsula. Maybe not the best choice here, Ramses, because I don't know how you're going to be able to protect that, but Egypt will probably play a major role in the Middle East, like they traditionally do. Whoa! Oh my goodness. Okay, so we were first like massive, and I mean massive coalition war against the Carthaginians. I wonder why. I wonder if the Vandals started it, or as well as keep in mind that Belgium is also going downhill. So that might be the other reason why. Some of the Western Europeans might not like Belgium, so they declared war on them. Carthage obviously takes the declaration as well. We're seeing everyone declare war on Carthage, but it's actually on Belgium too. And actually, with some of the locations, it could be both. I mean, who knows? Remember, the Romans and the Papal State are both allied to each other, so it could be the Vandals or Belgium. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going after. That's the thing. It's going to be a mystery. It'll be easier to tell by the end of the game. Again, I don't necessarily have an end date to this series. We will be going along until it's exciting. So like the previous team-based battle ended not really early. We could have ended that early, but it continued to stay exciting even though we knew the winner. So I went ahead and went forward into it a little bit more. I realized that there might be a few people that would want. We might definitely. It's almost a guarantee that we'd return to the same format, except either with different teams. Well, obviously with different teams, but I mean, like, depending on how this goes, either closer teams or teams that are further away from each other, or we might return to this format with teams of 3 or even 4. So that is, you know, I'm always thinking about that. Again, we're still in the very, very early stages. I still think that people underestimate exactly how much this changes. Bohemia moving way down to the south, all the way south of Vienna. So did Belgium, which they might lose. Maybe that's why people are mad at Belgium. That's my guess. Yeah, I still think that, you know, we don't know enough yet about how teams work and how the AI works, because it really does throw this huge wrench in everything that we kind of knew, almost everything that we kind of knew. So, you know, I don't know this very well, and I don't think we will know it until about 3 or 4 playthroughs, until we're gonna really get it down. Until I can, and this will be a new chapter in my AI only book, because I know you guys are excited for that. I'll make it like a web book or something like that, a free downloadable PDF or something. I don't know. I don't. We'll figure out like marketing strategies for that, but we'll see. Anyways, so the Netherlands are doing pretty well. We also have the Moroccans, very aggressive with their wonder building. The Netherlands have 3 archers here, but again, with the lack of a melee unit, they will not be able to take over Bavaria. Denmark, how are the British Isles doing? British Isles, so Scotland still with 2 settlers. Queen Victoria of Great Britain with, wait a second, where did that go? She had a settler somewhere. Oh, Nottingham. She settled Nottingham. I didn't realize that. I can barely keep up with the colonization. And Portugal with their 3rd city coming up very soon. A few peace deals are going on. How is Carthage doing? Carthage is doing fine. There's no major threat to them. So I think the only thing that I can tell... Wow, okay. So apparently the Middle East is kind of in a big mess right now. Like I said in the first video, the only thing I can really tell so far that these teams really change the way the game works is like I said, we see less civs fall in the beginning and more civs fall at the end, because when actually I don't even have a reasoning for why that is. It just seems to happen. Oh, the Huns and Russia were at war. Wasn't paying attention. It's probably still too early on, but they must have done some damage to Catherine, because again, this is a very weak point. I don't think this is a really, really big point of the map, because the Huns, on the other hand, might have a little bit better of an opportunity than both Russia and Novgorod will have, because they're pretty on their own. That is Catherine and however you pronounce the Novgorod leader's name. But the Huns, if they were to capture all of Russia's cities, they could easily dominate the Black Sea, go after Armenia. You know, if they do it early enough, they could even attack a very divided Middle East. Definitely Attila has a much better chance, I think, if he controlled this region all on his own, to be aggressive and to be a powerhouse than I think Russia and Novgorod do. That's just my opinion, but I think that it's something to kind of think about. Balkan states also have been a pretty big mess going on here, especially with the Goths and Greece working together. I don't see Bulgaria lasting for very long, but it really depends. They're doing good. They're definitely protecting Sofia very well with at least scouts as meat shields and a few warrior units, so that's good. But something to keep in mind that Greece do have their early unique units, their hoplite, and I think they have a horseman unit. I believe they have a horse unit or something like that. Carthage. So this is the first time we're seeing Carthage move warriors. They're moving warriors actually like through the Mediterranean. I'm not saying the first time, but really early on. Very weird AI behavior to see them this early embark for a war after Rome. That's kind of funny. It's gonna be a big disaster for them if they are not landing in the correct spot. Because if they get too close to Rome, this capital is going to bombard them, and they're done. How's Spain doing? Spain's fine. Oh, and boom, those two Scottish settlers have set off for Scandinavia. Probably should have gone after Ireland. There was a reason why I didn't include the Celts, because I wanted to have there be kind of a race for Ireland. But I guess Scotland or Great Britain, they don't really mind either way. But I think this is going to be a pretty kind of fun point. They better be ready. Scotland, Norway, it will come after them. But this is actually kind of a smart choice for Scotland, because I forgot about this. They are allied to Denmark. They're teams with Denmark, so they're right there next to their friends. That would be kind of a good move, actually, now that I think about it. You know what? That might be... Now, I think I just discovered something. I think AIs try to somewhat settle close by to their friends. I think they're kind of doing that. As best they can, of course. They can't always do that, but it seems like we're seeing that with Belgium. I don't know. That's kind of a stretch. Never mind, because there's really not that much space in Europe, so that could be the reasoning why too. I don't know if I can make that comment yet, because Egypt isn't really moving towards the Moors in Iberia, so that would explain. That'd be like a good example. But dang, Egypt's at 5 cities. That's crazy. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.